Hello, hello. Ooh, it's a windy day today. It's a powerful day for the Lionsgate portal. Hello, hello, everybody. If this is your very first time watching me, hi, my name is Laura Dawn. It's so nice to meet you here on Facebook. Drop a little hello and let me know that you are new to my world. And if you've been around for a while, if you've been following me for a while, or you're a friend of mine, say hello so I can say hi back to you. And I'm so glad that you're joining me for this call. I'm just seeing some messages coming in, some friend requests. And I know yesterday I was live, but my setting was set to friends only. So a lot of people missed it. And so now I want to make sure that it's set that my settings are correct. So I'm just kind of playing around with the settings right now. Just give me a moment. Bear with me. And my internet is slow on my phone. So give me a second. Yay. So how is everybody doing today? How are you? Let me know in the comments. Like, I really want to know how you're doing. Let me know. How are you feeling today? I had a really powerful call with my Love You members this morning, and that just set me up to have high vibe energy today, feeling the vibes of love and joy and gratitude. And I'm hoping that you feel that energy coming off of me, coming right to you. I'm so excited that you're joining me. Yay. So excited that you're joining me for this live today. This really means a lot to me. I am a mom of 2 kids with ADHD. I have ADHD. I've been teaching for nearly a quarter of a century. 10 of those years in special education. I am an ADHD parent coach and the founder of the ADHD Village. And all of the work that I do, my greatest passion is to support children with neurodiversities like ADHD. And the best way I know how to support children with ADHD is by supporting their parents and educators. So that is the purpose of this summit. Not only do I want to support kids and their caregivers, but I want to change the way the world treats children with ADHD. I want to change the perception of ADHD. These kids are not bad or lazy or stupid or slow or all the labels that they get stuck with. They're not. They're incredible human beings who are misunderstood. They have a neurobiological brain difference, and we need to understand that so that we can support them. I'm also on a mission to shift the parenting paradigm. This is a super exciting time right now. We have the latest research and the neuroscience to back up the strategies that we're teaching as part of the summit, as part of the Love You parenting strategies you learn in the ADHD Village. So it's really exciting that we have the science and the research that backs up everything that we're teaching. So this is super exciting. And in just a few moments, I'll be bringing on Dalia Leon Urbiola, who is a conscious parenting coach. And I'm really excited for you to meet her. So I just want to check my settings and make sure that this is set to public. So edit privacy. Let's see. It was set to friends. So I'm going to change that to public. There was a lovely villager in the ADHD Village who reached out to me yesterday and told me to check my settings. So thank you. I think her name was Megan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yay. So if you are watching, let me know you're here so I can say hello. I'm just trying to read the comments here on Facebook. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get them. No, I don't see the comments. I see there are comments, but I can't see them. That's okay. We'll keep going. Hopefully they'll show up later for me. Okay. So this is a surprise party inside of Facebook because in 6 days, Calming the ADHD Family, the 3rd annual summit will be beginning. And I couldn't wait 6 more days to get into everything. So I asked some of the beautiful facilitators of the event to join me here live in Facebook today. So today you will be hearing from Kristen Wilcox, Colby Kale, Nicole Mitchell, and Dalia Leon Urbiola. These are all incredibly heart-centered humans who share my passion. We're on a mission to help support parents who are raising kids with ADHD. let me know in the comments if you already have your ticket for the summit. I'd love to know. Type I'm in if you already have your ticket. And if you don't have your ticket, you can grab it now. I will share my screen with you so you can see where to get it. Let's, not that screen, this screen. Here we go. So you go to www.calmingtheadhdfamily.com and it will take you to my website where you simply type in your name and email, and that's all you do to register, and it's free. It's free for 3.5 days plus a weekend. So starting on Monday, August 14th, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, all the recorded sessions and gifts from the speakers will be sent to your inbox. And then on Thursday, the 17th in the morning, I'll be hosting a beautiful workshop called How Not to Lose Your Cool, especially when your kids do. So I hope that you can join me for that. Again, that is free. And then on the weekend, if you've missed any of the wonderful sessions, there will be a replay weekend for you to catch up. So this is the schedule. So starting off on Monday, we have Dr. Edward Hallowell, Nicole Mitchell. Look at all these incredible humans who will be showing up in your email inbox on Monday morning. And on Tuesday, here's the list of incredible speakers and their topics. You can click up above, you can click on their bio to learn more about who they are and what they do. And all of these beautiful humans have generously donated their time and all sorts of lovely free gifts. If this is something that you're feeling you would like to have for longer than the free period, there is an option to upgrade to a VIP. There are 2 VIP options. There's a gold and a platinum. Let me know what one works out best for you, which you would like. And this is a really incredible time to be coming into my world right now. For the first time ever, for one of my summits, I'm offering a free month of coaching inside of the Love You Parenting membership. So when you decide to purchase gold or platinum, you will receive 1 month of coaching inside the Love You Parenting membership, which is an absolutely incredible space to be in. So that is my gift for you when you decide to become a VIP member. So these are some of the gifts that you'll be receiving as a VIP. Like there's oodles and oodles of value in there. And I try to offer in different stages, depending on where you are. I like to offer a lot for free to give back to the community, give back to people who maybe are not in the place right now to have the resources to access resources. And then depending on your level of what you would like for you, whether you would like gold to have all sorts of lovely things like access to all these videos for unlimited replays, a beautiful journal, gifts from the speakers, bonus Zoom calls with me, the membership, that's all in gold. Platinum gets all of those lovely things, plus oodles of extras, including a half-day group coaching virtual session with me. Yay. Okay, I think Delia's been waiting long enough to come on. So I'm going to bring her in just a quick little moment. Before I bring Delia in, I'll just show you who she is. Oh my goodness, I love Delia. I'm so glad I found her. She's a conscious parenting coach. She will be doing a session on Monday along with Jenny Bittner, and it is a fantastic session. I hope everybody tunes in. Here's Delia. And there we go. Okay, so time to meet Delia. Are you ready? So drop some hearts in the comments to welcome Delia. Also, I wanted to mention to you, when I go live, if you share my live stream, if you feel that the message that I'm sharing would resonate with other people, if you think this is a message that they need to hear, go ahead and share. Let me know that you've shared. When you share my live streams, when you share my emails, when you share my posts, and you tag me so I know that you've done this, or you let me know shared by typing shared in the comments, I enter you in a draw to win prizes. I have beautiful books to give away. I have VIP all access passes. I have 1 month membership inside of Love You. Like there's all sorts of beautiful prizes that you can win. There's some private coaching calls with me. So if it feels aligned, please share this to your personal page, share it to a group. Let's spread the word. This is the way we shift the parenting paradigm. Okay, let's bring Delia on. I'm so excited to bring her on. Yay. Hello, Delia. Hello, hello. So she's just coming in now. Christy, I'm so glad that you are in. Yay. Tanya, thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. And where is my beautiful Delia? I think she's just connecting. Just waiting for her to connect. So while Delia's doing that. Oh, yay, Tanya, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you. So again, let me know in the comments if you have already registered for this event. It starts on Monday. It is free for the first 3.5 days, plus the weekend afterward. There is incredible value inside the summit. Also, I want to mention, this is something that's new this year as well. Every year I do this, it gets better and better. So I hope that you will join me inside my private Facebook group, which is called the ADHD Village. Let me know if you're already in there. You can type hashtag ADHD Village in the comments so I know that you're in the group. We'll be doing lives next week during the summit inside the ADHD Village. So there's pre-recorded interviews, but then there's also the sessions that are live inside the village. And this is your chance to interact with the speakers and ask your questions. Delia, I hear you, but I don't see you. Hi. And we are live on Facebook right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm so excited to be here, but I'm not sure what's going on with my camera. I think I'm just gonna switch to my phone because
Okay.
it was working a couple of minutes ago and now it's hiding me.
Okay. No worries.
So I'm just gonna jump off the computer and I'll be right back.
Okay. Yay.
All right.
You are going to love Delia. I just love her voice even. Like hearing her voice is really calming to me. She's a beautiful, beautiful soul. Paula said, I couldn't see the broadcast in the ADHD Village because I haven't pressed share yet. So I'm going to do that now. Thanks for letting me know. I love when villagers have my back. Thank you. So I will share this into the ADHD Village, share it into Love You Parenting, and there we go. Yay. So how's everybody feeling today? Like, how are you really feeling? Something that we talk about in the summit is name it to tame it, heal it, feel it to heal it. So we want our kids to be emotionally intelligent, emotionally regulated. We want them to understand their feelings. Let's do it for ourselves first. So drop a word in the comments that is a feeling word, and good is not acceptable. Not I feel good. Like give an actual word that describes your feeling. Okay, Delia's coming in. I hope the camera works this time. Fingers crossed. Hi, Delia.
Hi, there we go.
I'm so glad it works. And I have to tell you, my ADHD brain, which 90% of our thoughts are negative and automatic. And I think if you have ADHD, it's even more. And we tend to be really critical of ourselves. When your camera was not working, my brain right away went, oh no, I did something wrong with the settings in Zoom. So isn't that interesting that my thoughts immediately went to that negative and I started to feel worried? Oh my goodness, we're live on Facebook. What am I going to do? I've done something wrong in the settings. And I'm sharing this with everybody right now because if you have a child with ADHD, this is what their brain does. Every human, 90% of our thoughts are automatic and negative, but kids with ADHD, individuals with ADHD, that's even higher. We're very critical of ourselves. We're very sensitive to criticism, really sensitive to criticism. And there's a good reason for that. By the time kids are 12 years old, they have received 20,000 more pieces of negative criticism about themselves compared to their neurotypical peers. And I was watching, it's a lot. Like, let that number sink in. 20,000. Imagine, like, no wonder we're critical of ourselves if that's what we're used to, right? I was watching my kids play tennis the other day, and both of them have ADHD. So there's, lacking that impulse control. And they were starting to get a little frustrated with each other. And one of them was just saying to the other, like, you suck and you this and you, and I was like counting all the negative things. I'm like, oh, that was like 8 negative comments within 1 minute. And that's from your brother
Yeah,
who loves you. Like, anyway.
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's funny that you say that, because as I was jumping off as well on the computer and placing it on the phone, I'm thinking to myself, what did I do wrong as well? I set this up, I tried it, I made sure the camera was working, and now it's not. It's funny how our brains go that way.
Funny how our brains go that way. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's part of
Yeah,
learning. That's how we build our resilience. Like, let's all good.
yeah.
And Christy, right now you're saying you're feeling uneasy. Paula, you're showing us a winky smiley face for your feelings. Paula, a little bit of nervous for the back to school startup. So I thank you for your openness and your honesty and for taking that time to tap into how you are feeling. I think we're often so busy, go, 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 doing all the things. We need to just give ourselves a few seconds multiple times in the day just to tap in, like, how am I feeling? Really, how am I feeling? And allow yourself to feel that feeling. If you're nervous, it's okay. Feel nervous for a little while. It's okay. The last thing we want to do is suppress those feelings, shove them down, or put on like that toxic positivity, like ignore it and like totally turn on the positive. It's okay to feel your feelings. Oh, Emily, hello, beautiful. Emily also has a lovely summit that is starting the same day as my summit. It's an emotional intelligence summit. And she's saying she's feeling a little overwhelmed. And I totally get that, because when you're putting on a huge summit, there's a lot of balls in the air. Welcome, Emily. So glad you're watching. Thank you. So, Dahlia, I'd love to ask you, when I invited you to come on to the Calming the ADHD Family Summit, you were like, yes. What led to that yes? Like, what made you say, yes, this is totally for you and you want to be a part of this?
Well, first of all, I discovered the ADHD family, the ADHD village back in 2020, when I was looking for support for my daughter who has ADHD. And in the process of finding support and having found you and the village, it was one of your summits that actually helped me realize that I also have an ADHD brain. So just to be able to, come full circle and be part of the summit now, and the whole kind of process that I've been through. And also because for me, it's so important to bring awareness of changing the parenting paradigm and really getting our children the support that they need, understanding them not just as people, but in an energetics kind of way, in a relationship that the parent-child is of, mutual respect and learning. And just being able to share this space was just an opportunity I could not turn down. It's just too exciting for me. Like I said, coming full circle it's mostly the reason I'm happy and excited and I'm here for it all.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. And honestly, I got tears in my eyes as you said, like, this has come full circle for you. Like, this is so beautiful. And we're actually partnering together in our coaching journey, which is such a beautiful thing. I love finding other humans that I'm in alignment with. So welcome, Dahlia, and I'm so grateful to be on this coaching journey with you. Not only the parenting journey, but also our coaching journey together.
Yeah, absolutely. So excited, Lara.
So you mentioned that you found out you had ADHD as a result of being in the ADHD village and learning. And so what I'd love for parents who are watching right now, let us know in the comments. You can just type in hashtag ADHD if you have ADHD yourself. Let us know if you're comfortable sharing that information, of course. And also, I'm curious, did you get diagnosed after your child? So maybe just let us know before or after for your diagnosis. So many women in my world are diagnosed after their children. Their child is showing all these signs, their child gets a diagnosis, and then maybe they start to think, well, I feel some of those things too. Or what often happens with moms raising kids with ADHD, this is my journey, is you can feel a lot of anxiety and depression. That is sometimes how ADHD shows up in women. It shows up differently than it does in boys. In women, it can feel like overwhelm, worrying, constantly worrying, feeling like you're not good enough, not being able to keep up, not being able to do all the things, intense sadness, like just, oh, and almost like feeling like for me, I honestly felt like I was having a nervous breakdown. That's what it felt like for
Yeah,
me. I had no
yeah,
idea I had
absolutely.
ADHD.
For me, it was so relieving, honestly, to find to have a confirmed diagnosis, because like you said, it's a lot of the mental, and the inner judge is just so big and so loud. And for me, when I found out that I actually had an ADHD brain, it was a lot of guilt that I didn't even know I was carrying was relieved immediately. And I have been able to kind of get to know myself better, um, verbalize what I'm doing, how I'm feeling better when I'm interacting with not just my children, but even my husband, my friends, and allowing myself to set certain boundaries that I wouldn't before, because I was trying so hard to, you know, um, I guess fit in and, you know, be the same. When we're just wired differently, and being okay with that. So it was a little bit of a shock, because the actual diagnosis was kind of extreme ADHD or something like that. And it felt a little bit shocking and relieving at the same time. But you're right, the guilt that comes with, like you said, 20,000 times more of negative feedback, and that inner critic, with knowing comes a lot of power, and deciding that, this is my superpower, and it's not that I'm wrong, or that I'm always, for me, late. Like, time management is crazy. It's just, it's who I am, and I just need to get different kind of supports to function in the real world and in my house. And making those accommodations just really elevates your own vibration, like your own emotion.
So many pieces of gold that you shared there. So yes, like giving ourselves the strategies and the supports and the accommodations that we need, because yes, there are struggles with ADHD, and at the same time, it is a superpower. But I shouldn't say hate, that's a strong word. When people just say simply it's a superpower, I feel like it takes away from this. I don't want to say takes away from the struggle, but it's like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I do. There is a little bit of the extra legwork, that or the workaround. And it's kind of like an invisible load, that nobody, except for maybe other people with ADHD brains, can actually understand or relate to. And with superpowers, I think also comes a lot of those extras. I mean, you think about a superhero, and they all have, extra gadgets and things that regular people don't. And that's extra work as well.
yeah. And so that's why it's so important to put strategies and accommodations in place to support those extra gadgets, right?
Yeah.
And then once you've done that, then your superhero powers can shine through. So get the supports in place first and then shine. I think That's how I always think about it. Like support first, like build that solid foundation and then you can shine. But without those supports in place, it's really hard to shine when you're struggling.
Absolutely. Agree.
I'd like to welcome Nikki and Mercedes. Thank you so much for joining. Glad you're here. Now, I also noticed, Dahlia, you mentioned a couple times it's not just about the human, it's about the frequency and the energy. And maybe we can dive into that and you can let us know what you mean about this, because this is really powerful.
Sure. Well, I like to start from the fact that, everything is energy. Um, we're just, your bones, your muscles, the table, computer, everything is made of energy. And it's just the different frequency of that energy at which it's vibrating that makes it denser or not, like water or wood. And there is certain vibrations that are going to match the wood molecules versus, for example, the water molecules. So in that same sense, our bodies are made of different cells that are vibrating at different frequencies. And there's also our own energetic frequency. We all have a magnetic field. We are our electrical wiring system is our nervous system, right? Through which our emotions are perceived and received. And when our emotions, which is just energy in motion, are coming through our nervous system and are going out, you walk into a room and you can feel like, oh, this is a really cool vibe, or you can sense like, whoa, what just happened here? Like everything's kind of tense. That's just the energy that everybody in that room is giving off. So in that same sense, if we are aware of our own energy when we are at home or, interacting with our children, we become a little bit more aware of what their energy might be, what their emotions might be, when they're not able to verbalize them yet. Especially with the prefrontal cortex not being fully developed for our children, they can't always verbalize. And so when we become aware of our own energy, we can also become more perceptive of theirs. And in that same kind of dance of learning from them and them learning from us, we are also able to share that calm energy with them. And there are different tools to do this, mindfulness and meditation, and, a lot of different tools or practices that you can do. But nowadays we have technology that can support us with this as well. And it's really groundbreaking to be able to have a technology that can actually see you as a person without judgment, without any prejudgment or any preconceptions, that can support you in actually understanding maybe some subconscious things that might be going on through you that are influencing the way that you parent or influencing the triggers that you have, as well as our children.
And this is really truly what calming the ADHD family is all about. It is about giving parents not only the strategies and the tools, but giving you ways that you can anchor into your own inner calm so you can balance your energy, come into harmony for yourself. And then it's so much easier to support your kids. Your worst parenting on your best day is better than your best parenting on your worst day. So if you are able to bring yourself into balance and harmony, even if you're not doing all the fabulous tools and strategies you are the strategy. You are in balance. You are in harmony. Your child feels that energy. They match that energy. Whereas if you are burnt out, exhausted, tired, irritable, cranky, and then you try to use all these fantastic strategies, it's just not going to land. Now, Delia, you mentioned that there's technology now available. Do you want to give us a little sneak peek into what you mean by that? And this is what your session will be about on Monday. You and Jenny go into this deeply. But give us just a little taste of what this new technology is. And I happen to be wearing mine right now.
Sure. So as you can see, Lara is wearing what's called a Healy device. It's a frequency device that actually has a sensor that's called a quantum sensor. And what that means is that it's like having ears and a piece of communication with our energy field. So the quantum sensor, when it's activated, when you're running the Healy to do a scan, it will actually scan your energy, and it will find what your highest resonance with. And so it will bring back whatever it receives from the scan. And it has a huge database. Again, going back to everything is energy. There's a huge database of what each frequency for everything is, from different tissues in our bodies to thoughts to, past trauma, or even just, maybe we have certain beliefs in our subconscious, and that's all energy as well. So the Healy picks that up, finds the program or the frequency that is aligned to that, and then it will vibrate out the vibrations or the waves that will actually bring whatever is coming up back into coherence. So what that means is that, for example, if your child that has ADHD struggles with anxiety a lot, it will send vibrations that will help them calm their nervous system, and will actually help them with whatever process is in place when they're aware of, the anxiety that they're going through, and they will be able to go back into coherence. So balancing out the anxious feeling so that they can actually process and respond better.
So this, if this is feeling like whoa to you, if this
I
is
said a
blowing your
lot.
mind, tune into the session on Monday with both Delia and Jenny. They explain this in more detail. This is something that I'm so excited that I've brought into my life for my own nervous system, my own well-being, my own mindset, as well as for my children, and as well as for my coaching. Like, this is a really powerful coaching tool, which we're really, really excited about. And actually, Delia and I are both offering all of our VIPs 60% off a private coaching call. So when you join the summit, it is completely free from August 14th to 16th, and then the morning of the 17th, and then the weekend after, which is the 20th, I believe. So each day for the first 3 days, you'll receive all these wonderful sessions and free gifts to your email inbox. On Thursday morning, you will be invited to join me on Zoom for the How Not to Lose Your Cool, especially when your kids do workshop. And then if you've missed any of the sessions, they're playing again for free over the weekend. And then after that, they go in the ADHD Village Vault, unless you have a VIP all access pass. And when you have a VIP all access pass, let me see if I can share my screen with you. Oops, that's not it. When you have, how do I stop this now? Is my screen being shared? How do I stop?
It was.
Oh, here it is. Okay. So when you get a VIP all access pass, you will have unlimited replays of all of the sessions. You will receive a beautiful digital journal to take your notes in. And the journal has all sorts of coaching questions to deepen your understanding. There are bonus VIP gifts from the speakers. So if you look on the screen here, you're going to see all these extra gifts. So You get gifts when you attend the summit for free, but you get extra VIP gifts when you have a VIP pass. And the gift from Delia is right here at 60% off a Healy coaching session. So if you want to explore what it would be like to have a parenting coaching session that also involves the frequency of Healy, like this is a great opportunity for you. And something I'm super excited about is all of our VIPs will have 1 month support inside the Love You Parenting membership. So the Love You Parenting membership is a beautiful community. There are loads and loads of resources. There are coaching calls. So you will receive that for 1 month when you become a VIP. So there's oodles and oodles and oodles of support that we're offering you when you join the summit for free, but even more when you join the summit as a VIP. And I'd really like to encourage you to consider having that coaching call with Delia at 60% off. It's a great opportunity.
Yay! I'm excited for that.
This is really, really exciting. If you have questions about Healy, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We'd love to support you and answer those questions. And Farida, thanks for watching. And Demia and April and Gita, so glad that you're here. Delia, I've got a question for you. I hope this doesn't catch you off guard. What was the worst piece of parenting advice that you've ever received? Have you received a terrible piece of parenting advice?
Oh my goodness. Ignoring bad behavior. Ignoring the letting them cry or the timeouts, that kind of thing. And I did it. That's the way I parented my firstborn for a long time, until I wasn't that far into my parenting journey, and it just felt so wrong. He would cry in the corner and I would cry in my room, and it was just like, it was heartbreaking for me. I can't imagine how he felt. So I think that is the worst piece of parenting advice I've received. And unfortunately, it's a very common one, the timeouts and whatnot. But I think that now there's a little bit more awareness around it.
And we've got the neuroscience to back it up, all the parenting resources and research that backs up how we can shift this parenting paradigm to this new, more conscious way of parenting. I just see a question coming in from Val. Do you have to purchase the Healy in order to do a session with Delia? No,
you don't have to purchase it. The session doesn't require you to purchase a Healy. If that's something you want to do afterwards, we can talk about that, but purchase is not necessary.
And so just like if you've heard of distance Reiki, where you send like frequency and vibration through distance, there's a whole bunch of quantum physics science that backs up how you can do this, but you send the frequency from a distance. It connects to the quantum field, it connects to the information field. And so as long as your coach has the Healy device, you don't need to have one.
That's right.
Okay, so Nicole Mitchell is in the waiting room. Delia, I'd love for you to stay on just so you can meet Nicole, because Nicole, oh my goodness. Let me know in the comments if you already know and follow and love Nicole. Just type in Nicole if you already know and love Nicole. And if you don't already know and love Nicole, just type in the comment a heart to welcome her. I just want to show you who she is before I bring her on. She is a beautiful, beautiful human on the inside and out. She is incredibly generous, kind. She's just, I can't speak highly enough about her. She's got an incredible story to share. Where is Nicole? Is this an alphabet? There it is. There's Nicole. So here we go. This is Nicole. She's a life coach. And the session that she will be sharing is on how to talk to your kids about sex, how to help them to be sex positive and body positive. And this is a session that if this is uncomfortable for you, then it's probably one that you want to tune into. I know when we have kids with ADHD, we're concerned about impulse control. So this is, this is a conversation that's a really important one. Anyway, I'd love to bring Nicole on live. I'd love to introduce Dahlia, you to Nicole. And before we do that, can you please drop some hearts for Dahlia? Thank you to Dahlia for being here and spending this time with us and offering your wisdom. Thank you for the gifts that you're offering the audience. Everybody in the summit will receive your beautiful conscious parenting blueprint, and our VIPs, of course, will have that option to have a private coaching call with you, which coaching is what has changed my world, my life, everything was when I started working with a coach for myself. So I can't speak highly enough of how invaluable it is to work with a coach. So Christy just dropped a Nicole in the comments. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Adam. Dahlia, thank you for being here. Please stay on so you can meet Nicole.
Thank you, Lara. I will.
And let's get some hearts going. Let's welcome Nicole with some hearts, and let's thank Dahlia with some hearts. Okay, here we go. Admitting Nicole. Like we're on bated breath, just waiting. Hi, Nicole. You are live in Facebook.
The party is here.
Nicole's here. The party can begin.
I'm so excited. Thank you for throwing this little surprise party for your people. This is awesome.
Isn't it fun? And I wanted you to have a chance to meet Dahlia, Nicole, Dahlia.
Hi, Dahlia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nicole, I was just talking about you before you came on, and I showed your bio, and I want to ask you, when I invited you to be a part of the Calming the ADHD Family Summit, you said yes right away with your beautiful, like, genuine heart. Can you let us know, like, what made you decide to say yes? What drew you towards the summit?
I have such a heart for families. I have such a heart for children. I have such a heart for parents. I feel like parents deeply do desire to connect with their kids in a way that is authentic and impactful and meaningful. And I think sometimes we as parents can feel a little bit like without the tools, because we were raised probably in very different homes than the homes that we're trying to raise our children in. So we're all trying to figure it out in real time. And so if I can share any tiny bit of wisdom that I've gleaned along my way to make someone else's parenting and family life better, easier, smoother, more magical, then like I'm all in.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
I follow you on Instagram. I follow you in Facebook, and I love how open and honest you are. You share so many beautiful parenting moments. And in my world right now, we're talking about glimmers, which is just this little micro moment of happiness, which reminds me of something you often talk about, which is filling your pocket with happiness? How do you word it?
Yeah, pockets of pleasure.
Pockets of pleasure. So let us know, did you experience a pocket of pleasure or a glimmer today?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's first thing in the morning for me. So my glimmer is that my day doesn't start before 9:30 a.m. For me. That is like a huge glimmer every day. I used to be a high school teacher, so I knew what it was like to get up at 6 something to get ready for school, and to now be my own boss and not start my day usually till 9:30 or 10. That is a glimmer every single day.
Lovely. Nicole, have you received any pieces of terrible parenting advice?
Oh my gosh, all the time. It's like, it's so interesting because it's gonna be so different from every parent. I'm a very sensitive person. And so like, I don't do well, for example, with crying, and like when kids are in pain, and like we are taught to like make kids tough it out and to ignore them. Because if you ignore them, they just want attention. It'll all somehow go away. But it's like, well, if they need attention, there's a reason they need it. Maybe it's because they're not getting it enough from me, right? And if they have to throw a tantrum to get my attention, there's like a deeper issue. So I think like something I'm really good at, I think the parenting advice I've been given was look at surface behavior. And that's all there is to it. They're just selfish, greedy little brats that you need to ignore, and they'll figure it out on their own. Versus I see they're a person with real needs and real desires. And my job is to see beneath the surface, what is causing the tantrum? What is causing the tears? And like, how have I contributed to it? And I think that's really hard for parents. We want to blame everyone else, but it's really hard to reflect on ourselves and see how we might not be doing a good enough job for them as a parent. So I'm like, did I do something to cause it? Not as like, I feel blame and shame, but like I take personal responsibility as their mom. Like, have I been so busy with work that I'm like, yeah, okay, go figure out lunch for yourself. Well, you'll be like, am I always putting them off to where it finally kind of implodes? That means I need to reflect on my life and how my day is scheduled to make sure I'm filling my kids' buckets to prevent some of these tantrums. So yeah, I think I took what was the general advice of only acknowledge surface behavior and ignore them. And I'm like, but why are they having this surface behavior? What is really going on? That I feel like is one of my specialties.
And I got tears in my eyes as you started speaking, because I had just asked Dahlia the same question and she answered the same, that the advice she received was to ignore the behaviors. And like, this is why I'm so excited to be sharing both of you, Dahlia and Nicole, and the 30 other experts as part of the summit, is that there's now research and neuroscience that backs this new parenting paradigm, and you are leaders in shifting the parenting paradigm. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for your contribution.
Yeah, it's so interesting because like I think it's really easy to be very critical of our own upbringing. I can speak myself. I've been very critical of my upbringing, but they didn't have the tools that we have. They didn't have summits like this. They didn't have all the books and resources and access to the experts and the latest research knowing how to support your children. Like they were just passing on generational advice that someone made up somewhere somehow, that maybe worked for one kid, but doesn't work for the majority. And now we have the benefit of all this research. And so I'm going to give a personal example of how, a contrast to how I was raised. So I struggled with depression and anxiety as a kid growing up, but there was no real belief about that in my upbringing, because we were very religious. We only need Jesus, not any science or psychology. And so there was no support for me. And I kept asking, I need to go see, I need help. And I wasn't believed. And I used to be so critical of them, but now I'm like, that's all they knew. And so then content note, there's like a suicide attempt coming up, right? There was one time in high school where a family member walked in on me trying to take my own life. And their solution to it was closing the door and ignoring me. And I was devastated. Oh, I feel tears in my throat. Devastated that even that was seen as Nicole's just being needy and greedy and like just trying to get attention. I was literally trying to get attention. Like there was something to me that could not live any longer. And so now what I want to do as a parent is if I see a kid acting out whatever, it's like I never want my kid to get to that point where they have to attempt something because they're so miserable because they're no longer believed. And I think we all know what it's like to not be believed, to be ignored. It is so damaging to our hearts as an adult. It's even that much more damaging to a child. And so now that we have these resources and the knowledge, and I'm so glad the word glimmer is now catching on, because again, it's just a new tool and a new term for a better understanding of our own human experience. My hope is that we're going to prevent a lot of kids from ever having to go so dark, so deep, so lost because they've been ignored for so long.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it really is important, because especially when we're talking about kids with neurodiversities, these are invisible disabilities. And there is, unfortunately, a lot of shame that goes along with that. Kids feel they know they're different, and there's a lot of shame. There is anxiety and depression. Often ADHD doesn't travel alone. There's something else connected to it, whether it's a learning disability, anxiety, depression, OCD, ODD, there's often something that goes along with it. That's a lot for a young person to be managing, a lot. So
it's a lot for an adult to manage.
Yes.
It's so much harder for a child who hasn't learned the tools yet. Totally.
And this is why it's so important to be supporting parents and giving them the tools, because you're right. We didn't grow up knowing this stuff. So where are we supposed to learn it from? All of a sudden we have a child that we're raising who has all these special needs. We're supposed to be teaching them to be, emotionally intelligent humans, and how to self-regulate and how to find their own glimmers and overcome their challenges. But if we haven't been taught that, then how are we supposed to do it? So that's the purpose of this summit, is to give you some education, some tools, some introduce you to incredible people who are in the field who you can reach out to for help.
I love that. And that's what I love about you. That's another reason why I'm here, is because I love you. You have such a huge heart. You care so deeply. You're so well connected. Like the fact that you're throwing this free summit, it just shows you want to get this information and connections to as many people as possible, to help as many children as possible, to help as many families as possible. It's I'm so down for working with someone like you because I think we're just very similar in that way. Like, I think everyone in your world is probably the same because you attract who you are. And I think we all have really big hearts and we want to help everyone. So thank you for making it more accessible to more families.
Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it.
It's a lot
No,
of work.
And Nicole, if I may, just kind of add something that kind of sparked an idea when you were sharing just now, is the classic, behavior is communication,
mhm.
and trying to do things the same way over and over just because it's the way that it has been done before, just doesn't work. Children are, they're their own person, and unfortunately it used to be that we were taught to believe that as parents we had to shape them into a successful person, whatever that might be. Whereas with this awareness, with summits like this and information and the science that is now available, we can actually understand that we are just going to guide them, and it's like a present that we get to unpack and discover what's inside and bring that beautiful thing that's inside. We are not supposed to create anything. They're already their own person. And with ADHD, like Lara said, come so many other things. And as parents, we are the leaders that they look up to. So if they're going to be learning how to self-regulate, ADHD or not, we need to be able to show that as a role model in our family, as the leader in our family. And like you said so eloquently, I can't remember exactly the words you used, but there's no way that I would punish a child for having big feelings right now. And the fact that, people like you and Lara and everybody else in the summit is coming together is just a huge indicator that, it's being heard, it's being changed, and just excited to connect with people like you.
Same. I love that. I feel the same way. I love the word present. I always view it as like a treasure box, right? You're right. Like, our kids are a gift and they're a treasure to explore and discover because they are already their own complete person. Like, I am not here to complete them. I am not here to make them who I need them to be. I'm like, who did you come here to be? Like, every day I get a little glimpse of who they came here to be, and I get so excited, and I get kind of picked on by my friends because I literally am in awe of my children. I am just like floored by their humor. I am floored by their depth of their emotions. I am floored by their insight. I am floored by their honesty. I'm just like, I feel like I have so much to learn from my kids. There's like a purity to them. And obviously parents get credit when like kids are safe enough in a home to like open up about that. But I'm just like, I want to view my kids with this wide-eyed wonder and be like, who are you? And how can I best love you and support you and learn more about you? Like, this is a gift to me as a parent, that you as an entire little person came into my life and came into my world, and we get to walk alongside of each other. So Delia, I'm so glad you said that, explained that. And you're right. There's so many of us who are like that. And it's showing that shift in our culture for sure.
And as you both are speaking, I'm like trying not to let the tears roll down.
Yes, let them flow.
I let them flow, right? Like I always say, like don't suppress your emotions, let them out. But I'm live on Facebook. But oh my goodness, like this is so beautiful. And parents, if you're watching, if this really resonates with you, if you believe wholeheartedly like we do that your child is this incredible gift that you get to unwrap, drop a little gift emoji in the comments. Let us know that you're on board and you feel the same way we do. Also, I want to mention if what we're talking about is something that you feel strongly that other people need to hear this message, then I invite you to just press the share button on the live stream. You can share this onto your personal page. You can share this into a group if that sharing's allowed. We really want to shift the parenting paradigm. And the way we do that is by spreading the love, spreading this message. This is how we do it. We link arms together, we join together, and we lift each other up. We support each other. It's like wrapping a village of support around our children. So imagine the internet, we've got the power of the internet to help us with this. So just press share and you could be a part of shifting the parenting paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, your session will be airing on Monday, and it's a really important one. And it's one that I was a little nervous to record because it's a topic that I'm not overly comfortable with, but I'm gaining comfort. And that's about how do you talk to your kids about how to have a body positive image, but more than that, how to be sex positive. So maybe can you give us a little bit of insight of what parents will learn from the session with you on Monday?
Yeah, I think parents are going to walk away with better understanding of what those terms even mean. I think people have different assumptions about what those terms mean, and that can even be scary because if we have assumptions but not accurate information, we're not fully understanding the topic. So I want people to know what sex positive means. I want people to know what body positive means and what it doesn't mean. I think they're going to get clarity on that. And then I think we're going to address like, how do you have those conversations? Because as much as we think it is and wish it could be just a one-time conversation, it really is an ongoing dialogue with our children as they're in our home and in our lives. And it really does get easier. I was thinking about that as I was getting ready for this call today. I was like, man, I remember how just a matter of years ago, I avoided those topics like the plague. I wouldn't acknowledge, I would change the subject, I would get flustered, I felt wordless. And now it's one of my favorite things to talk about with my kids, and they bring it up all the time because I've gotten more comfortable, they've gotten more comfortable. And so it gets to a point where I feel like I rarely have to bring it up anymore because they are so comfortable bringing it up, and they'll ask me the questions or they'll share their thoughts. So like, I saw this online. What are your thoughts on that? Like they now initiate the dialogue. So that's my hope, is to give you the pleasure of initiating the conversation, but then the relief knowing it doesn't always have to be you. Your kids will often be the ones who continue that conversation, which is amazing.
And what I really love about your session, Nicole, is that yes, the topic that we're talking about is being sex positive, body positive, but the strategies and tools and the way that you explain it, it could apply to any topic. And really what we want is we want our kids to feel connected and safe with us. We want to be their safe place.
Yeah.
We want them to feel connected. We want them to come to us with all the little things so that when things become bigger, they'll feel comfortable to come to us with the big things.
Yes. I think that's a big part of my topic is like, how do you cultivate that kind of relationship long before you need it? So I start probably at a much younger age than most people would feel comfortable with, but because I know, we know how fast it all goes. I blink my eyes and my newborn is 13. I'm like, how did that happen? She has 5 years left under my roof. That is not a lot of time. And I also know what it's like to be in public school. I know it's like to be in private school. I've attended both my childhood. And so like, I know how early on I was exposed to things so much sooner than my parents realized. And this was before the internet. So because I had that experience as a kid, I'm like, okay, I was exposed to things years before my parents thought I was. Now my kids have the internet. They're going to be exposed even earlier than I think they are. So I'd rather initiate the conversation earlier than I think, because I'm probably already late to the game anyway. So it's just permission that like, it's not about nailing it and getting it just right. It's just knowing anything you do is helpful. Any little tidbit or nugget or conversation, anything is a drop in the bucket is exactly what they need. I'd rather have us drop a little bit than nothing. Or for me personally, like I'd rather talk too much on it than not enough, because our kids are so exposed. And you're right. Like I want my kids to come with me with anything, but that means I'm able to talk to them about anything.
And I think especially when we're dealing with kids with ADHD brains are more likely to have addictions. It's a fact. Russell Barkley's research, Dr. Hallowell's research, it is a fact. ADHD brains are more likely to have addictions. And this could be addictions to things like alcohol, drugs, shopping, gambling, like work addictions, any kind of addictions. And the antidote, is that the right word, to addiction is connection. Connection. So we want to give our kids this strong foundation, this deep connection with their parents, because that's going to set them up for the most success.
I love that. And I love that we have that information now, that the antidote isn't punishment. Antidote isn't isolation. I think that's often what we were taught growing up. It's like to punish and to isolate. It's the exact opposite. It's to connect. And so even now when my kids do something that's disappointing, I care so much more about connecting than punishing. So I'll give an example. So in my home, I take a lot of pride in like, we're very honest with each other. I feel like lying is not an issue in my home, which is so different from me. I was a compulsive liar growing up. So I was very important to me to try to cultivate a home where lying didn't have to happen, because I felt like it was required for me as a kid. And so I don't know, a couple weeks ago, we have a rule that all my kids' devices have to be in my room at bedtime so that they can't get on in the middle of the night. They don't get up. I don't want them getting up at 6 a.m. to get on the devices. And I noticed one night that my kid left their cell phone case with a cord in it, but the phone was gone. So it looked like it was plugged in, but when I flipped it over, it was an empty case. And I was like, and I'd specifically asked them, did you put your phone in my room? And they said yes. So I was so sad that they would lie to me. And so the next day, I was really upset because we just don't lie at my home. And then I was sad that they felt like they had to lie to me. So then again, like we just talked about, why did they lie to me? What's the deeper reason for the surface behavior? So I waited to the next day. I waited till I was in a totally calm spot. And we were doing something else. And I was like, hey, you know how last night I asked you if you'd put your phone in my room? And you said, yeah, but you didn't. You lied to me. Like, can I ask why? And they were like, well, I knew if I told you the truth, you'd take it anyway. But I'm like, but you knew that I'd find out anyway. So like, what caused that? I just didn't want to tell you, I wanted to have it. And I'm like, and I just sat there for a moment. I was like, okay, I'm just really sad that you felt like you had to lie to me. I don't think we have that kind of relationship. And you could feel like the gravitas of that moment. Like it was such an authentic reaction. I wasn't trying to like make them feel guilty. I was genuinely just like, I just want you to know, it made me sad that you had to lie to me as your mother. And you could see like this shift in them and this understanding landed. And I'm like, I walked away from that. I'm like, there is no punishment required. There's no discipline required. They felt that like, I want to be connected to you. When you lie, there's a disconnect. I don't want that in my home. So I love that you said that. The antidote to addiction is connection, and we can start cultivating that in small ways in our home.
If you feel the same, type in the comments connection.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, Nicole, like, this is why I love following you on Instagram and Facebook, because you share, and I need to learn from you because I love how you do this. You share these meaningful, like, that is such a powerful, powerful story.
Mhm.
And you're always sharing these things so that we can learn from you. And you shared such wisdom there. Like, I think an instinct for so many of us would have been to while we were heated, to bring it up. Like, why did you do this? Why did you lie to me? Like, blah, 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 blah. And, and now there's going to be a consequence. Now you're not allowed to have your phone, like all the things. I think that's kind of instinctive. I think that's what what we grew up with. And what you said is like, you felt sad. You gave yourself the space to feel your emotions and process your emotions before you had the conversation with your child.
Yeah. Cause I think part of our job as a parent is to remember what it was like being a kid. I remembered having my parents get mad at me in real time. And the only thing that will happen is defenses will go up, walls will go up, you dig your heels in, and I will I'll say whatever I have to say to not get in trouble. Right. And then when I get caught, then all that teaches me, I have to be more sneaky. So now if I'm going to be punished and there's more rules, I'm like, how I want to become a ninja and sneak around these rules. I'm a natural rule breaker. And so with my kids, I'm like, okay, I want to talk about you lying, but I want to talk about how it hurt me. Not, I think you're a bad kid. Because I understand we all lie at times, especially as a kid. You're like, it's their job to test our boundaries. It's their job to push against us. Like, this is preparing them for the real world. So I don't get mad at them. I'm like, okay, this is good practice. If there's anyone to practice on, let it be me, so that you don't do this with your employer someday, or so you don't do this with like the love of your life someday. Like, practice on me, right? But I don't want to come at you from a punishing angle, because then I feel like you're only going to want to be more sneaky. And so I think what I love to do is I try to give real life examples, because it's so easy to talk in theory, but as me as mom, I'm like, but how does that apply to real life? Right. And so like, we all deal with devices. I think we all deal with kids being sneaky with them. And it's like, how do we have those boundaries? And then how do we confront them lovingly, calmly, like you so beautifully teach, so that the core of the issue is addressed, which is, in our home, I never want you to feel like you have to lie or sneak. So is there something that you want to tell me? Or is there a way I'm being that makes you feel like you have to lie or sneak to me? That would actually be my first angle. It's not, how can I punish you? It's like, am I doing something as a parent where you feel like your only option is to lie to me? Your only option is to be sneaky? Because if that's the case, like, I want to know what I can shift in my parenting.
Okay. That is magic right there. And again, the tears in my eyes, like, oh my goodness. So this is the mindset, rather than like, why is this happening to me? Why are my kids lying to me? Why is this happening to me? How is this happening for me? And that's the perfect opportunity to engage in a conversation with your child and dig. This is deeper than the phone wasn't in the case. Like, what's going on? This is the great opportunity. So this is the beauty in taking the time to process your own emotions,
Yeah.
and then taking the time to, as you said, like, go beneath the behaviors, look beneath the behaviors.
And can we just like acknowledge the creative geniusness of that move? Like, I'm so impressed my kid thought of that. Let me take my phone out of my case, flip it upside down, put the cord in under the, I'm like, I had to laugh. Like, that is genius. First of all, like, I give you credit. I'm going to acknowledge genius work where I see it. And then second, the fact that they felt, honestly for me, that they felt safe enough doing something they know they'd get caught in. They know they're going to get caught. So like, to me, I'm like, either they really didn't think it through, or, and there's probably truth to that, like they know it's safe to try.
Mhm.
Because I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to punish. I'm more curious. Like, what made you do that? Is it just because you're like a teenager and you're like testing boundaries? Is it because like maybe their friend's going through a hard crisis and they want to be able to text their friend late at night after I'm in bed and they didn't tell me like what's going on? Like, I would want to know that so my kid isn't handling this on their own. Like, there could be so many more reasons than I just want to lie and deceive my parent.
Mm.
And that's what I'm like, I want to unpack. Like, what could be the different reasons going on?
And that is so valuable. Imagine that the reaction is simply a consequence, and it could be something so much more important that you want them to open up and talk with you about. And I also love how you said, like, this is their chance to practice with you before they go out into the real world.
I think we forget that. I think it's still very much hardwired in our programming from our upbringing. It's like kids are meant to obey. It's so funny. Yesterday, my 10-year-old goes, "Mom, what does obedience mean?" And I just like died laughing. Like, it made me so genuinely happy she didn't know what that meant. Because to me, that is not what matters to me. Obedience is not what matters to me. Like, authenticity, honesty, communication. Obedience to me has this like power over dynamic. I don't want power over you. I want power to power. You have power. I have power. We both get to bring it to the table. So I laughed at that. But I think we have such a hard wiring for like, you need to obey, when really, when you look at the research, it is a teenager's job, a tween's job to push back on the rules. So my job then isn't to stop the pushback. My job is to check in and make sure they're pushing back in safe ways. Like, I hope they're not running off at midnight as a 13-year-old and getting in trouble down the street. Like, doesn't feel safe to me. But sneaking around with your phone, like, that feels appropriate for that age. So like, I think when we can be really honest about it, it can feel less alarming to us that there's nothing wrong with your child. Your child is actually very healthy. That has appropriate behavior for them at that age. And our job is to have safeguards. Like, you can push back and like, I want to be a safe haven for you to do that. But I also will let you know if it goes too far and it puts you in dangerous situations. That's what I don't want you to do.
If you're enjoying this conversation, please drop some hearts for Nicole and Dahlia, and you'll want to watch both of their sessions on Monday. It will be sent directly to your inbox as soon as you register for the event. Let us know in the comments. Are you in? Have you already registered? If you have, type in "I'm in." And I'd like to be respectful, Nicole and Dahlia, of your time. I totally wanted Dahlia for you to meet Nicole. I knew that you two would love
Thank
getting to
you.
know each other.
Yes.
Before I let you go, though, Nicole, you see there is a pineapple behind me. And you know that today is the Lion's Gate portal, a very powerful day if you believe in manifesting. And if you don't believe in manifesting, there's this idea where your focus goes, your energy flows. Or if you want to get into the neuroscience of it, your reticular activating system is alerted to what you pay attention to. So I'd love to ask you before you go, is there something that you're wishing for or manifesting today? Is there some beautiful intention that you have for yourself or for your family or for all the parents who are watching? I'd love to know. Sorry to put you on the spot, but it is the Lionsgate portal day today.
You know, when I saw that pineapple, because you and I are in Melanie's world. And so like, my thought was for today and for the families here is like, the best is yet to come. Like, I think it's easy as a parent, like, oh, my kids were little and they were so cute and they couldn't mess anything up. It's like, I miss those days. Cause like when they get older, it gets more complex and more emotions and more nuances. And like, we can start like kind of romanticizing the past and not acknowledging like the beauty that is now and the beauty that is coming. So I think I really want the families to feel like there's so much hope here. It's only going to get easier. It's only going to get better because of the summit, because of these connections Laura's introducing to you, because of what you're learning. Like, let's celebrate the past, But let's not forget there's a lot of beauty happening today, and we're going to call in so much more beauty in our lives, in our families, and in our kids.
Oh my goodness. That is so beautiful. And really that's for me, for you, for us, which is incredible. I'm so grateful that you shared that. It's so beautiful how you made that connection. Dahlia, is there something that you're manifesting?
I have been working a lot around awareness,
Mhm.
just not my self-awareness, but awareness about relationships in our energy exchange, their children, with our parents, with our partners, with our relationships, because that is the way that we're gonna contribute to elevating the collective frequency. And part of the reason of summits and information like this being out there is so that we, with this awareness, we can choose differently, and we can support each other, like you just said, bracing hands, standing together, and we're stronger together with this awareness.
So beautiful. I'm so incredibly grateful to both of you for being here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And parents, you are going to absolutely love both Nicole and Dahlia's session that's coming to you on Monday. Thank you so much for joining. Nicole, thanks for starting your day with us.
Yes, what a perfect way to start it. Thank you. I'm so happy.
Thank you so much, Lara, and so nice to meet you, Nicole.
Same,
I
Dahlia.
look forward to the rest of the summit, and I'll see you later.
Thank you,
And
Laura. Bye, Dahlia.
thank you. And Kristen Wilcox is joining us live now. Kristen is
Welcome,
the
Kristen.
yes, let's drop some hearts, please,
There we
as a
go.
thank you to Nicole and Dahlia, and as a welcome to Kristen and Andrew. Let's see some hearts in the chat.
Hi.
Hi. This is a chance for you to meet Nicole and Dahlia. And Nicole and Dahlia, this is Kristen and Andrew. This is so exciting that you get to meet here.
I love all these connections. This is amazing.
Welcome, Kristen and Andrew. Thank you so much for joining.
No
Thanks.
problem.
Yeah.
And Dahlia and Nicole, you're welcome to stay as long as you wish, or you're welcome to get on with what you need to do as well. Thank you.
I'll hop off. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Oh my goodness, what a delight to have Andrew live. Now, Andrew, some of the families in the Love You Parenting membership have already seen your session, and they absolutely loved it, because it's such a treat to actually learn from a young man with ADHD on parenting advice. So let me just back up a little bit, because I'm so excited to see you both here. Welcome, Kristen and Andrew. Maybe you can just let people know who are watching a little bit about yourselves, and I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Okay. I have a PhD in pharmacology, and I spent over 20 years doing drug abuse research. And then when I was working at Johns Hopkins University, Andrew was diagnosed with ADHD. And when I was talking to a colleague that I was working with on an ADHD project, he mentioned to me that there are no resources out there for boys with inattentive ADHD. So we decided to write a book about it to increase awareness about inattentive ADHD in boys, because Andrew is not, bouncing off the wall hyperactive.
And I love that you've done this, and your kind of tagline is always like, pay attention to inattention. So I'd love to know,
Absolutely.
parents who are watching now, does your child have inattentive ADHD? And I think it's not as often diagnosed. It's not as often noticed, because as you said, they don't have that hyperactive piece. They're not getting the attention for bouncing off the walls or being so super impulsive. Let us know in the comments if that's you, if you are either experiencing it for yourself or for your child, inattentive ADHD. And Andrew, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. I'm glad to be back. So, 'cause I enjoyed doing the first session.
Yes. And for those of you who didn't see the session yet, if you're not in the membership, the session will be coming live to your email inbox on, I believe, Tuesday. So
Mhm.
as long as you have registered for the Calming the ADHD Family Summit, you will have this session coming to you. And it's really absolutely, Andrew, the advice that you give parents is so exciting. Like, I can't speak highly enough about that interview that you did with us. So thank you so much, Andrew.
No problem.
So, Kristen, can you give us maybe some information for the parents who are watching and they're not sure what inattentive ADHD is? What is it exactly?
Sure. Well, like I said, inattentive ADHD kids are not hyperactive. Their behavior is not outwardly disruptive to others. Their behavior really only affects themselves. They have trouble paying attention. They have trouble remembering things like to turn in homework or to do school assignments. They have trouble with starting projects. A lot of times things are very overwhelming, so they have trouble starting projects. So they look like procrastinators, but it's because they're overwhelmed by what they have to do and have trouble breaking things down into smaller parts to be able to start them. So, their behavior really is affecting them. It's not outwardly affecting other people, so they don't get noticed. They get labeled as, lazy or apathetic towards school or disrespectful because they should show up on time for a meeting and they don't, not because they don't know they should go to the meeting, but they're not very good with time. So yeah, so their behavior is just affecting themselves.
And Andrew, maybe you can share with us, what is something that a parent can do to support a child with inattentive ADHD?
Try to learn. Well, the biggest thing that you did once you started writing the book is to learn how I actually function and not just kind of be like, this is what I've read, but I haven't actually like seen how my child acts and see if it's like pinpoint to the T to what all these resources say. And just kind of this big thing is to learn how your child functions and how they want to do things and go from there to help them kind of get what they have to get done.
I don't know, Andrew, if you realize how intuitive and brilliant you are, but like that is so incredibly valuable, right? Like you find out your child has ADHD and you want to dive in and do all the research and read all the books and listen to all the experts, but you are the expert on your own child. So take the time, like Andrew said, like really tune into your own child, really observe and get to know your own child and ask them like what works for them, what doesn't work for them, get their feedback. It's every child is unique on this journey. The ADHD is a whole huge spectrum. So we really want to, like Andrew said, like get to know your own child and learn from your own child.
And something that is like there's like a note on that is that it's a trial and error process. We didn't figure out what really works for me until my last 2 years of high school. And I was diagnosed in what, third grade?
Third grade. Yep.
And like it took all that time to finally get it down to get me to be able to like fend for myself kind of way. If that makes sense.
And
So just don't be discouraged by, oh, we've tried 3 to 4 different ways of trying to keep my child organized and none of them are working. Is you just gotta find the one, and once you find the one, it's like hands off and they just kind of go from there.
And what did you find in school was maybe the most helpful for you? Like if there's some teachers watching, is there something that you found that teachers could do that would really be supportive to a child with ADHD? And I know every child is different, but I'd love to know what worked for you.
Similar to how with the parent-child relationship is have your parents or even you go talk to the teacher and be like, this is how I operate. It might be different from just the generic thing that you might have been taught. I don't know if teachers get like a course or what have you on ADHD and things like that to try to help their teaching styles, but like learn how the student with ADHD actually operates and kind of you don't have to cater every little thing to them, but try to just like include with or cater to the way, at least in a little bit, that they prefer to learn and just how they kind of operate.
So that's so important, like that connection. Teachers who are watching, educators who are watching, that connection with your student is so powerful. Like when kids feel connected, when they feel like their educator sees them and hears them and understands them and values them, they're going to feel safe enough to communicate with you, to advocate for themselves, to take risks. So building up that connection is so key.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of any relationship with anyone with ADHD is just understand how their brain works, because it's not the same as yours for sure.
And I will add also, as a parent, I did a lot of communication with Andrew's teachers. And, if you're a parent, don't be afraid to reach out to your child's teachers. And, I sent emails to Andrew's teachers every Friday. And at the beginning of each semester, I said, explained Andrew, explained his strengths, explained his weaknesses, explained certain things that were in his 504 plan, and asked the teachers if they minded if on Fridays I could email them to see if he had any assignments that were missing or any projects that were coming up that we could kind of get a head start on, or if he had any tests coming up that we could start planning ahead for. And the majority of his teachers were very receptive. So don't be afraid to reach out to the teachers, because they will help your child.
I think that's really valuable what you said there, because I'm a teacher as well as a parent to kids with
Yes.
ADHD. And really, like when the parent, the teacher, and the student are working together collaboratively, that is when you're going to have the best connection, the best success, the best school experience. And parents, like Kristen said, reach out, communicate with the teachers, get that conversation going, because when the teachers start at the beginning of the school year, they've got a classroom full of students. If it's high school, they have multiple classes of multiple students. They've got a lot of things to sort through with all the curriculum and all the other extracurriculars and many different student needs. So their radar will not be specifically on your child. Your radar is on your child because they are the center of your universe, right? So take the time to connect with the teacher. I love that you set up like those weekly check-ins. I think that's really valuable. Talk to the teacher, see what works for them. A quick little email once a week to say, is there any assignments or anything I can do to support, is a great idea, because that way your child isn't falling so far behind in the assignments, and it's not coming to report card time and all of a sudden on the report card it says they've missed 15 assignments. So I think that's really key to have that constant communication.
Yeah, and like I said, the majority of his teachers were receptive, and we're thankful that a parent was involved with their child and helping their child to be successful at school.
And I think another key part of that too is to let the teachers know if there's anything going on, if your child is struggling with something emotionally or socially, which often comes with ADHD, that's going to impact their learning at school. It's going to impact their academic success. So bringing the teacher on board so they have an awareness. So maybe if your child is, not participating as much as usual, or they're really having an extra challenge getting started, or maybe they're having some extra challenging behaviors out at recess, that if there's something going on, let the teacher know so they can support your child and work through those things, and maybe not assume that what they're seeing is misbehavior, that there's something beneath the behavior.
Absolutely.
Now, can I ask you, Kristen, was it stressful? Were there times of stress raising a child with ADHD?
I don't, probably in terms of looking towards his future and, will he get into college? How will he do in high school? If he's having trouble in middle school, how is he going to get through high school? And, will he do well in high school to get into college, or to, do something else at after high school? So there was a little bit of stress. And I think some of that also comes from, I knew what he could do. I knew he was smart enough. I knew he could, if he applied himself, he would have no trouble getting through high school and getting into college. So it's a little stressful, and parents get a little anxious because they know what their child can do, but the rest of the world doesn't necessarily see what they can do. so their ADHD makes it difficult to show what they know. So they know how to do it. They understand how to do it. It's the execution that where they're kind of falling behind and where they need help. So yeah, I'll say it was a little stressful, but also I just kind of like dove in to try to learn everything I could about inattentive ADHD, because when Andrew was diagnosed, like the majority of people, I thought, oh, well, those just boys who are bouncing off the wall. And, so I kind of dove into everything and just really tried to learn everything I could to help Andrew overcome some of his limitations so he could show what he knew, and, that he knew how to do things, that yes, he understood how to do stuff in school, but he just had a little trouble with the execution.
And those worries that you share, like those are totally normal. I'm sure every parent watching shares in having those worries. 90% of our thoughts are automatic and negative. So a lot of those worrying about the futures, that's totally normal. It's what you choose to do with those thoughts. So Kristen like had the thoughts, but you knew that he could absolutely, with the right supports in place, he could overcome those challenges and totally be successful. In your opinion, Kristen, like what is the support that you put in place that was really, really impactful?
I would say kind of what Andrew said before. I learned how to work with his ADHD instead of fight against it. So I, learning how his brain doesn't work like my brain does. So was really big on helping him to be successful. So as an example, when he was in high school and would have to read books, well, reading is challenging for kids with ADHD. They don't pay attention to what they're reading, so they have to reread the page over and over again. And then, you have it takes them a long time to get through it. So Andrew liked listening to audiobooks. So, we started getting the books he had to read for school as audiobooks. And, well, that's not the traditional way you do it. You have to read the book. Well, he knows how to read. So whether he gets the information from reading it in the book or listening to it on the audiobook, it didn't really make a difference. So you kind of have to let go a little bit of, the way you're supposed to do it, and do it the way that works best for your child. And another example is every teacher wants the kids to have a notebook for each subject. Well, that doesn't work for Andrew. Andrew had one notebook with dividers in it for all of the subjects. So then he didn't have to remember to take home, 3 or 4 notebooks at the end of the day. He had to remember to take one home in his backpack, which is way easier. So, you kind of have to break out of what people perceive as the standard and work with your child.
It's so magical. Like so many beautiful tidbits of like information that you just shared there. Something that I just typed in, which really resonated with me, was let go of the way you're supposed to do it.
And the thing that I want to add to that is for the child themselves with ADHD. At my high school, at least, they had this like academic counseling center, and they're like, okay, you're going to organize your binder this way. And I'm like, no. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, no, this isn't how it works. You don't understand. And so the child shouldn't be afraid. Like, obviously they should be polite about it, but just be like, this is not how I organize my life. It doesn't work for me. So for me to be successful, I want to do it my way. If that kind of makes sense.
Absolutely. And I love that you had the courage to advocate for yourself. And that's a skill that we really want to support our kids with ADHD. All kids need to learn how to advocate for themselves. And it's a skill that needs to be taught, and with baby steps with ADHD, right? Like teach them, and with lots of support, and slowly you remove that support. So if you want your child to advocate for themselves, maybe you set up a meeting with the teacher, you go in together, talk about it together, and model for your child how they can talk to the teacher, how they can communicate. You can even help your child to write emails. Sometimes that's easier to communicate by email, and you can be beside them saying, okay, like what is it that you want to express to your teacher? What questions do you have? But that advocating is really important. And that's a life skill that they're going to need beyond school. So I love, Andrew, that you have that strength to advocate for yourself. Um, Parents who are watching right now, if this is a message that you feel people need to learning about inattentive ADHD, which doesn't seem to get the same attention as combined ADHD or the hyperactive ADHD, please press the share button on this live stream. So just below, like the screen where you see us, there's a little share. You can share this to your personal page. You can share it to a group. We really want to shift the way the world is treating people with ADHD. Like Kristen said, kids with ADHD often get labeled as being lazy or unmotivated or, poor behavior or slow or whatever it is. And that's not the truth. The truth is they have a neurobiological brain difference and they need some support. They need support in the lagging skills that they have so that they are able to shine. Once those supports are in place, then their strengths can shine through.
And to add to that, with the like kind of being labeled, the college that I go to classifies ADHD as a disability, which I just
Mhm.
hate the way that that's phrased. I'm like,
Well,
sure, it's got like its downsides, but like, it's just kind of like, just don't like that they call it like a disability.
I agree with you.
yeah, I agree too.
I like the word difference instead.
Difference.
Yeah, attention difference instead of disability, and attention difference, because I mean, I guess there's reasons why the word
Yeah,
disability
there's
is
just an
there.
umbrella term, like,
Yeah.
but still, like, I think we almost didn't tell them, or did we not tell them? We either
Which
almost
college?
didn't, or we didn't tell when applying that I had that. I think we told them after.
Well, it didn't ask
Yeah.
on the application,
Thought it
but
did.
yeah.
All right.
And that's something we actually dive into in the summit too, is the topic of, when you're applying for a job, for example, do you share the information that you have ADHD or not? And this is why I'm so passionate about changing the way the world perceives ADHD, because wouldn't it be great if we lived in
Totally.
a world where you're comfortable to say, I have ADHD, and people would understand what that means and accept you for how you are, and know how to support you
Yes.
and remove that shame that
The
comes.
stigma
Like-
that surrounds it.
And I've gotten better
Yeah.
at that. Like, I have no trouble talking about it. This is like my third or fourth thing
Yeah.
talking
Andrew
about it
likes
with
to
people. So
Andrew likes talking about it and sharing his experiences.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I think parents also like seeing Andrew because they, especially if they have younger kids, they see, wow, okay, well, he made it through and he, goes to college and he's doing really well
I'm
and
adulting.
he's adulting. And, so it's kind of like, okay, well, there is hope for my child that they, they will make it through. And, parents that are watching, your child will make it through.
But they have to
It-
put in some effort. It's not just like, doesn't just magically fall together. You have to figure it out. The earlier, hopefully, the better, and something that you can find and stick with to keep your life together.
And I love, Andrew, that you are such an inspiration. Tell us, what are you doing in college?
I'm studying space flight operations at Embry-Riddle in Daytona Beach, Florida. So I could do stuff with mission control and like mission operations and stuff down at like the Space Center in Florida or at other space companies around the US.
And is that something you're super passionate about?
Yes, I've been interested in space since I don't even know, a long
Probably
time.
3 years old.
But I got like a
Mm.
moon, the picture of the moon my grandfather took. I got like space stickers all over my wall. I got rockets hanging from the ceiling. I got all kinds of stuff.
Amazing. And so like that's where ADHD can be a superpower. You have this power of hyper focus. So often people think ADHD is a deficit of attention, which isn't true. There's actually an abundance of attention, and that attention can be giving equal attention to many things at the same time. So for example, a child in a classroom might be giving the same amount of attention to the teacher speaking, to the child in front of them who's swinging their feet back and forth, to the fan that's humming, to a kid who walked by in the hall, to someone who's clicking their pen behind them. Like all those things are getting equal attention. So you can imagine how hard it is to focus on what the teacher's saying and what you're expected to do. But there's also the gift of hyper focus. When you're really passionate about something, when you really want to learn about something, you have this ability to really pay so much attention to that topic. So this is where teachers, if you're able to, allow for some self-directed learning, allow for some choice in the learning and the topics and how to present the learning, this is where children with ADHD can really thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's because of Andrew's intense interest in space and space travel and rockets and NASA. He goes to an aviation and aeronautical university, and he's surrounded by people who have the same interests that he does, and he's thriving there because he is, in a place that suits his passion. So help your ADHD kids to find their passion and pursue that avenue, whether that avenue is college or something else. It doesn't matter, because if they're passionate about it, they will be a success at it. And that's kind of true for everybody, but it's especially true, I feel, for people with ADHD, because if they don't have an interest in it, they're not doing it.
And actually that is one of the key pieces of advice from Dr. Edward Hallowell. And he says, help your child fall in love. Help your child fall in love with something that they're passionate about, because there's so much potential there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Parents, I'd love for you to drop some hearts in the comments. Click on those little hearts. Let's give Andrew some hearts. Like, this takes a lot of courage to get up in front of a big audience like this and talk about your ADHD and to be such an advocate. Andrew, like, my heart is so full of admiration for you. I'm so grateful that you've spent this time with us. I'm so grateful for your contribution to the summit. You are officially the youngest person I've ever interviewed for a summit. So thank you. Thank you. And Kristen, you're such an inspiration too. I love everything that you've shared with parents. You don't happen to have your book handy to hold up, do you?
Do we have the book?
There's
handy?
one and there's one on the floor in here.
Yay. So this book is available on Amazon. Andrew's Awesome Adventures with His ADHD Brain. Oh, cute. This is so cute, seeing the picture on the book and Andrew right there. Oh my goodness, I love it. Can I take a picture?
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
it was funny when the when the illustrator was doing the stuff for the book. So he sent back his vision for what Andrew would look like, and Andrew's first comment was, well, can he make it look more like me? I said, I'm sure he can. So I sent him a picture of Andrew in middle school and said, can you make it look more like Andrew? And that's what he came up with. And Andrew's actually had people say to him that the picture on the front of the book looks like him.
So cute. So cute. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know in the comments, do you already have your ticket for Calming the ADHD Family, the 3rd annual summit? If you do, type I'm in. If you don't and you need a ticket, just type in the word ticket and I will send you a link so that you can register. It is completely free from August 14th to 16th, full days where you get all the interviews sent right to your email inbox, gifts from the speakers. We have live sessions inside my ADHD Village, the ADHD Village Facebook group. So much goodness coming to you. Then on the 17th in the morning, you're all invited to attend a Zoom class with me on how to keep your cool, how not to lose your cool, especially when your kids do. So that workshop's coming to you on the 17th. And
Very
if you
important.
I get angry.
Okay,
Very
tell us about
important
it.
As someone who had to deal with someone who loses their cool.
Okay,
Still
so
does.
Yes.
Still does, but I add.
I had to modify my behavior because it was just a vicious cycle of yelling and screaming. So yes, I had to modify my behavior and kind of learn what was making Andrew frustrated so that I could help him, and also learn, if he stomps away, just let him go, because in a little bit he'll calm down and we can talk about it, but not to go after him and not to keep trying to get in the last word.
'Cause that only makes it worse.
It does make it worse.
And I love that you shared that, because I know a lot of parents, because I've been there, are watching, and you see all these, experts talking about ADHD and how they do all the things. And you look at them and you think, oh, wow, like, why aren't I like that? I yell and scream.
Yep.
So yeah,
Oh,
we've
I
all been
understand.
there, all been there.
Yep.
It's not easy,
Yes.
but it gets
Yes.
easier once you know that, like you said, like,
Yes. And again, like, that goes back to the whole working with your child's ADHD brain and understanding why they're getting frustrated, because the emotional dysregulation a lot of times comes from them feeling frustrated, like they can't do something, and helping them through that is key to helping keep their emotions in check. But yes, the arguing back and forth, not productive at all.
mhm. And that's something that when you get a diagnosis of ADHD, like, you often understand that there is, a difficulty with focus and attention, obviously, maybe impulse control. If it's a hyperactive type, there's hyperactivity. But I think that often there isn't this understanding that along with ADHD comes struggles with emotional regulation. That's a huge piece of it. And also lagging skills in executive functioning. So the types of things that Andrew was talking about, like a binder organization and systems that work and help with time management, those are executive functioning skills. So people with ADHD need some more support to learn those skills. Doesn't
I
mean
have
they won't
executive
learn them.
You do have executive dysfunction. You do.
And I often think about it as a disability of executive function. For some reason, that sits nicer with me rather than ADHD is the disability. There's
Mhm.
a
Yes.
disability with executive functioning skills, because that's outside of you a little bit. Like, it's these
Yes.
skills have the deficit, not me. I don't have the deficit.
Well,
These
Yes.
skills do.
I'm flawless.
Absolutely. Okay. I see some people are looking for tickets, so I can't multitask right now, but I will drop that link in for you. I hope that you join us for the summit. You're going to love Kristen and Andrew's session. I know that you're already
Oh,
loving
yeah,
it right now. What's that, Andrew?
We have our own thing for the summit, right? Our
Yeah,
own
on
blog or
on
what
Tuesday.
have you. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
cool.
Yes. Yep. That video will be sent to your email inboxes on Tuesday.
Yep. Yep.
Kristen, I have to ask you, so you understand obviously that the yelling back and forth isn't helpful, and that you need to give the kids time to cool down and regulate before you have those conversations. Is there something that you did that helped you to anchor into that calm before you had the discussions that you needed to have? Like, is there a strategy you can share with how parents can connect to their cool and their calm?
I think just kind of taking a minute and stepping back and just kind of take a few deep breaths, gather yourself, and then once Andrew would calm down, come in and say, okay, well, let's talk about it, and let's he was much better at talking about it after he would calm down, so we could actually have a conversation about what was bothering him, and why he didn't turn in his homework, or things of that nature, and me saying to myself, okay, I have to stop and I have to ask myself, how can I help him, instead of saying you should be doing this or you should be doing that, or why can't you do this or why can't you do that. Like that, it was huge for me to learn that something that was easy for me to do is not easy for him to do. So I had to constantly, remind myself and step back and say, okay, how can I help him to be successful?
And I just typed that in the comments because I think that's really valuable. How can I help you? And that really aligns with what Nicole was saying during her session, that taking that step back and looking at yourself and how can you as the parent help the situation. And what you said too is really valuable, that pause. Just because something's happening in the moment doesn't mean that you need to deal with it in the moment. Take the pause, take take a moment to collect yourself, to take some deep breaths, give your child time to process their emotions, because when those emotions are high, you can't have a rational conversation. We need to
No.
wait for those emotions to settle.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm. Kristen and Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your generous
Absolutely.
contribution to the summit.
Absolutely. We're
And
excited about the summit.
yeah, so exciting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And parents who are watching, if this feels good to you, if it feels aligned, press the share button, share this to your live stream so that people can learn more about ADHD, especially inattentive ADHD, and how we can support people with ADHD. I'm going to stay on the live for a little bit longer. I'm waiting for Colby to hop on with us. I'm wondering if maybe she's running late. So we'll
We
keep
were on the
chatting.
wrong link for a little bit, but
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Kristen and Andrew, and we'll see you at the summit on Tuesday.
yes.
Absolutely.
you.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
Bye.
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 Oh my goodness. Let drop some more hearts in there, please, for Andrew and Kristen. Like, honestly, a young man, a 19-year-old young man who comes on live on Facebook to talk about his ADHD, like, wasn't that incredible? I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with him. Yay, look at all those hearts. So Colby was going to be joining us. I'd like to share a little bit about Colby with you. So let me just get to. I'll share my screen with you. Here we go. So there's our lovely Nicole. We also have Sarah who's watching right now. Sarah is one of our beautiful experts as part of the Calming the ADHD family. Why is this not going back? Oh, there we go. So Sarah, thanks so much. I appreciate that you're commenting and you're a part of this live right now. Here is the lovely Sarah. Sarah is an educational leader. She's a master neuro coach, and she provides a fabulous session on Monday, which helps support teachers, educators, and parents. So that's a session you'll definitely want to tune into. Hello, Sarah. And Colby. And I don't know if Colby's having some technical difficulties or got held up with something, but Colby will be joining, I believe, on Wednesday or Tuesday. She's a speech and language pathologist as well as an ADHD coach. And in her session, she shares strategies to support expressive and receptive language and how that supports social skills. So that's a really fabulous session you're going to want to tune into. Actually, all the sessions are fabulous. I'm excited about every single one of them. I do want to mention to you, though, there will be 11 sessions coming to your email every day. So you may need to pick and choose. I'll just show you the schedule here. You may need to pick and choose which ones you want, which like some of them may or may not apply to you. So you choose what's best for you. And then you'll have 24 hours from the time the videos are released, and they're released at 6 a.m. Eastern time. So 24 hours after that, you have to watch them. And then the next batch of videos are released the next day. And then if you need extra time, you have a couple options. One is you watch the replay on the weekend, which is the 19th and 20th, I believe, the Saturday and the Sunday. And if you need more time than that, then you're welcome to purchase the VIP pass. And there's two passes. There's a gold and a platinum. Both of the passes come with unlimited replays of the sessions. So you can go back and watch again and again. And I know some people they'll watch once. I like to watch these sessions maybe as I'm cleaning the house or doing dishes or going for a walk. That's my first watch. And then the second one I do where I'm sitting and taking my notes and really letting things absorb. And I also noticed that I can watch the same session a second or a third time and pick up new information that I didn't catch the first time. So the VIP packages come with unlimited access to the sessions, a beautiful journal to record your notes in, a list of resources compiled by our experts, Zoom calls with me. So it's not just a live in Facebook, but we get to get on a Zoom together so that I can support you further. And then something that I'm really excited to offer is the 1-month membership inside the Love You Parenting. This is a beautiful membership. It comes with oodles and oodles of support, including a course that was created by Sarah Nikorek and myself. That's inside the membership right now. That course alone sells for $444. And when you're in the membership, you receive that. So this is beautiful, beautiful value. Honestly, like this, if you were to take one parenting course, this would be the one that would give you like transformations, like leaps and bounds of transformations. It's backed in neuroscience. It's backed in the latest parenting research, and it's taught by 2 coaches and 2 educators. Sarah, I love you, and I'm so grateful for your co-creation of that course with me. And then also VIPs will have this anchor in mini video series. So when you need to have little strategies to help you anchor into that inner calm so that you can stay calm, cool, collected in those heated moments, these are little 1 to 3 minute videos that will give you those strategies. Then if you're looking for the platinum, which goes above and beyond the gold, you will have access to my masterclass, Love You in Your Marriage, because raising kids with ADHD does put extra strains on a marriage. Statistics show in North America, around 50% of marriages end in divorce. And studies show that if you have a child with ADHD under the age of 8, that number doubles. So we need to have support for your parenting relationships. And this course offers that. Also, Platinum members will receive the How to Be an Emotionally Intelligent Love You Parent. It's a 21-day challenge, which is packed with oodles of support. And then there's my Heartbrain Boot Camp, which is coming live for the first time. It's a virtual group coaching program for half a day that you'll get to spend with me. And there's a $333 credit towards my transformational ADHD Warrior Mama program, as well as 50% off a private coaching call with me. So there's oodles and oodles and oodles of value in these VIP packages. The prices will go up when the summit begins. So if you're wanting VIP, I would hop in now and purchase it now while it's early bird pricing. And as well as all of those things, there are extra gifts given by our facilitators. So all the experts are giving free gifts to everybody in the summit, but then there are extra gifts for VIPs. So you can see Sarah Nikorek has one, Delia, Nicole, Colby, all these extra gifts. So this could be the best thing that you do for your family all year, is invest in this Love You Calming the ADHD Family Summit, the VIP All Access Pass. I would love to support you inside of there. And I think I'm going to have to catch up with Colby sometime soon. I wonder if either technical difficulties or something. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Please register for the Calming the ADHD Family Summit. I can't wait to share this event with you. That was the whole reason for the surprise party, is that I can't wait until Monday. Please join the ADHD Village Facebook group, because we'll be doing lives in there during the summit. So during the summit, a lot of the speakers are coming in live to answer your questions. So it's your opportunity to engage with the speaker. So this is a great opportunity. This is something that I love. I get to collaborate with all these experts. I get to ask them my questions too. And you'll have that chance inside the ADHD Village Facebook group next week when they come in live. You can ask them your questions. There will also be threads with their picture inside the group for you to comment and ask questions. And when you do this, many of them are inside the village. They will answer your questions. They'll get back to you. They'll connect with you. And also you'll be entered in a draw to win a prize. If you share this live stream, if you found it valuable and you decide to share, please let me know shared in the comments, and I will be entering you in a draw to win a beautiful platinum VIP all access pass. And I'll be announcing those winners next week during the summit. So thank you so much for joining today for the surprise party. Thank you so much for your part in shifting the parenting paradigm. This is such important work that we're doing. We're changing the way people treat children and understand children with ADHD. This is making such a big impact. I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful to all of the beautiful facilitators of the summit who have contributed so generously of their time, their heart, their energy, their free gifts. So much to be grateful for. Val asked, where can we get more information on the ADHD Warrior Mama program? So Val, if you reach out to me and send me a message, I'll be in communication with you. My next round of the ADHD Warrior Mamas is opening up this fall, and it is the most incredible space to be in, really. This is my my signature program. This is where the most transformation happens. It's where neuroscience meets magic. Like I think it's magical because I get so incredibly excited when I see mamas in the program implement the strategies, implement the tools, and they have these big shifts in their family. Kids are more emotionally regulated. Their executive function skills improve, the family dynamics improve. There's more enjoyable family time together. Connections are stronger. Like, to me, it's magical. Like, I'm so proud and so excited about this. So please, if you're interested in Warrior Mamas, send me a message. And if you have the Platinum Pass, you have a $333 credit toward the Warrior Mama program, which is absolutely beautiful. And I would be honored to support you in that program. So, oh, Nikki's saying you can't wait until the summit. Yes, me too. I'm so excited. Yay. Yeah, reach out to me anytime. You know, you found me on Facebook, so just send me a message. Make sure to friend me too. That way it's easier to stay in communication. I find with Facebook, if you're friends, it's easier. Thanks for joining the surprise party. 6 more sleeps until the big day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sending you all so much love. Have a beautiful day. Mwah. Love you.